So today we'll discuss smart forms. What is a smart form? Smart form is a print layout. Okay. What is a smart form? Smart form is a print layout. That can be your offer letter, your bank statement, your check, okay, or invoice document, sales order, purchase order, order confirmation, etc. That can be any print layout. We design that print layouts in smart forms. Okay. The transaction code for smart form is smart forms. Okay. What is the transaction code? Smart forms is the transaction code to design the smart form. So we have a previous like we have one more print layout that is called SAP script, which is some older technique to print the print layouts. But in these days, no one is using SAP scripts. Mostly, no one is using SAP scripts. Okay. In recent times, we are using smart forms and some advanced option, that is Adobe form. Adobe form is based on PDF uh, layouts. Okay. First, we'll see smart forms and then we'll go to Adobe forms. So, what is the transaction code for smart forms? It is smart forms is the transaction code. Okay.
ఏంటిది హలో
Yeah.
once again repeat that
Smart forms. Smart forms is the transaction code. Here you can see SMARTFORMS. Smart forms. Okay. This is the transaction code to open the smart forms transaction code. Here we design print layouts. Okay. So, what is new here? The programming and everything is common. Whatever the ABAP statements you learned till now, you can apply same ABAP statements here. But what is new here? Here designing the layout is new here. Okay. So we'll create one sample smart form. So what exactly is a smart form? For example, we have a program. We have a program. Uh, Customer transactions. We have a program called customer transactions. So what we are doing here, we are displaying it as a report, right? In ALV report format, right? The customer transactions. For example, if you want to send this customer transaction details to your customer, can you send this ALV report?
no, that is only
No, that is not proper formatting. It is just to display in a report structure. If you take your credit card statement, how it looks like?
it contain all the plates,
Uh,
records.
it apart from records, records are okay, but it contains a logo, right?
Company
Some bank logo, okay, and it contains your address here,
address.
okay, and it contains here, it contains summary of the transaction, what is the total due, what is the outstanding, etc., right? And here all the transactions, right? list of transactions, right? And here at the end, terms and conditions, right?
Yes.
So they are transforming the data into a print layout and printing it and sending it you by post or through email, right? In a proper format, right? So data is common. Whatever the select statement we are writing in the program, that is the input for this form. Okay, whatever the data we are displaying in the ALV report, that is the input for this form. Okay, but we design in a proper format. Okay,
Okay.
we so the program we call it as a driver program. Okay, this is the driver program and this is the print layout or print form. Okay, clear? So how you trigger the smart form? So we are going to design smart form in smart forms transaction code. Once the designing is completed, how to print the smart form? To print the smart form, we're going to call this in driver program. Okay, we're going to call this in print form in your driver program. Then it will print. Okay, clear? In the driver program, you are going to provide inputs to the smart form. If there are any dynamic fields, what is the dynamic field? Based on the data you have to display. For example, customer ID, customer name. It is not same for all, right? Whatever the data you are passing in driver program, those details should be print here. Okay, clear?
Okay.
So whenever you create a smart form, it will automatically generate a function module. Okay, it is going to automatically generate a function module. That function module you are going to call here in the driver program. Okay, that function module, that smart form function module you are going to call here in the driver program. Then that function call will trigger the smart form or print layout. Okay, if you know how to call a function module, then it is same. Calling a smart form is also same. Calling smart form is also through function module only. Okay,
Okay.
nothing new. Only new here is designing the layout. Okay, so let's create one smart form. See, I'll tell you one more thing. So this is address, this is logo, and this is summary of the data, and this is total transactions. Let's say you did 50 transactions and it will fit in the first page. They're going to display here in the first page itself. But what happens if you have 200 transactions? Are they going to fit in the same page?
No.
No, right? So then what it should do at the time? It should
Extend.
automatically
Extend.
extend to the second page. Only this part, not everything. Clear? Not everything. Only this part. The transactions part should be extended to the second page. Okay? So this window we call it as main window. So we keep data, whatever the data which should expand to the second page, we keep the data in main window. Okay? So what is the property of main window in smart forms?
It contains the all data.
No, main window contains like if you use main window, whatever the data available in main window, that will be automatically extended to the second page. If the first page is not enough, the first page space is not enough, it will automatically flow to the second page. Okay, clear?
అన్ని రావు కదా ఇప్పుడు నెక్స్ట్ పేజీకి అన్ని వస్తాయి.
Whatever the data you are
Remaining.
populating in main window, whatever the data you are populating in the main window, that will be
Okay.
automatically flowed to the second page. If the space is not enough, if you
Okay.
keep logo and this address, everything in the main window, they'll also flow to the second page.
Okay.
Okay, right? Just simple, whatever the data you are displaying in main window, that will be automatically flow to the second page, third page, fourth page if the space is not enough. Okay, but these windows are fixed, that is called secondary window. So for example, terms and conditions will display only in the last page, right?
Yes.
So we use secondary window for that. Secondary window cannot be flowed to the next page, it is fixed width. Okay, secondary window is the fixed width window. Okay, clear? So for now, please remember main window and secondary window. So main window will flow to the next page, based depends on the data. Secondary window cannot flow, it is fixed width window. Okay, in SmartForms, main window is optional, we may or may not use main window. If you have a requirement to flow data automatically to the second page, we have to use main window. Okay, if we have only fixed width data, we may not require main window. Okay, clear?
Clear.
Okay, now let's create a form. Create. So we'll take one example. Our tables are gone. I think we are in. Yeah, we have data in S4 system. I think I've opened. Why this content is not working. So see, we are using SC11, right, to display tables or to display the data. We can also use SC16, SC16N. Usually, functional consultants are going to use this transaction code to display the data. So we have some data here. So what we'll do, we'll design a print layout to print the employee data. Okay, this employee data. Clear? Hello? We'll take this employee data to print in our form. Clear?
Clear.
So go to smart forms. This is not available here in S4 system. The transaction code is not available. So okay, we'll take some data. Or we'll print material data. Okay, we'll print material data and material text and material properties for now. Okay, we have a lot of data here. First, we'll design the layout, form layout. So what is the data that I want to display in the form? So this is the smart form. Okay, so I created the smart form. This is the initial page. Okay, this is the initial page of the smart form. Go to form attributes. Did you observe what we are doing here? Or I'll create, click on create. When you click on create, this is the first page. Okay, this is the first page. So here observe. So this is the print layout. Here we design the layout. Here, this is the main window. This is the main window. So what is the property of main window? What is the property of smart form main window?
The main window
So whatever the data we keep in main window, it will automatically float to the second page. The first page is not enough. Okay. By default, it's created one page. Inside the page, we have a main window. This is by default. This is coming by default. This is the page. Okay.
oh,
So sometimes you may not be able to display, see this graphical option, graphical form painter. For that, you have to activate form painter and go to utilities settings, go to form painter. This should be active. Okay. Form painter should be active. Okay. Then only you can see this. Go to form attributes. What are the form attributes? Form attributes contains the data about the form, when this form is created and who created, okay, and everything, and also output options. What is the page format? What is the print page format? These are the different page formats. Okay, so this is the width and this is the height. If you select these options, I think A3, A4, you might be familiar with these options, right?
okay.
DIN A3 is A3 format, DIN A4 is A4 format, A4 format paper. What is the print size? What is the print layout size that we are selecting here? Is it A3 paper, A4 paper, or A5 paper? Okay.
Okay.
So that is about page format. Even in MS Word also we are going to select the page formats. Is it A4 paper, letter, etc. Okay. So go to form interface. What can you see here in form interface? Form
Um,
interface, you contains importing and exporting parameters, just like function module. Okay, it is just like function module interface. It contains importing and exporting parameters, right? So whatever the data, whatever the inputs, you need to pass it to the smart form. So you have to define it as an importing parameter. Okay, just like function module. Whatever the dynamic data you want to display here in the form, you need to define that as an importing parameter. In the driver program, we are going to pass that values to the smart form. Those values will be displayed here. Okay, clear? Now let's define the importing parameter. Okay, let's see global definitions also. So observe here import, export, and tables and exceptions. You are familiar, right? These options: import
Yes, yes.
parameter, export, tables, and exceptions. These are just like function module. Whatever the data you need to pass it to the smart form as input, you have to define it as an import parameter. Whatever the data you want to return to the driver program. Driver program is nothing but our SC38 report program. Whatever the data you need to return, you need to define that in export parameter. Tables, if you need to pass internal table type data, we define that parameters in tables. Okay. So what is the alternative to pass the internal table type data without using tables? Hmm?
To structure.
How can you pass internal table type data or multiple records data in without using tables?
Type structure.
Not type structure. It is table type. We create a table type in S11. We create a table type and we can use the table type here. Okay. In class methods, we can use type structures. In class method, we have types option so that we can create type structures and use that as a table type. But here, we don't have the types option in function modules. We have to create a table type in S11 and we can use that in importing and exporting parameters to accept the multiple records as input or to return the multiple records as output. Okay.
Oh,
So I'm taking Mara. Uh, For example, I'm going to display only data from Mara table. That's why I'm just taking Mara as example. Type Mara. Now, this acts as a workera like structure. I can pass single record to the smart form. Okay. So Mara table contains hundreds of fields. I'm going to utilize all of these fields. Okay. So usually if you need only limited fields, what you need to do? If you need only few required fields, what you need to do? You need to create a structure. Wait, table type is for internal table type data. Okay.
structure.
Structure. We need to create a structure with required fields and use that structure here instead of Mara table. Okay. If you want to use only limited fields. If you want to pass internal table type data with limited fields, for that structure you have to create a table type. Okay. Then you
Oh,
can pass the multiple records. Okay. Now, now I've defined the importing parameter, right? So this is the importing parameter. So is it optional or default? Sorry, is it optional or mandatory parameter? You have to define here. So it is not optional. I have to pass some data to print here in the form layout. So by default, it's created a page. By default, it's created a page and it is with main window, right?
oh,
So what is the property of main window? Whatever the data we are printing in main window, that will be automatically flowed to the second page if the space is not enough in the first page. Okay.
okay.
Now, so now let's design the view. This is the page. So this is the page, that is A4 page. Where you select the page format? Is it a A4 page, A3 page, or what? Where can you select the page format? In form attributes.
Attributes.
In form attributes, output options, you can select what is your page size. Is it a A4 page, A3 page? If it is A4 page, you have to select a DIN A4. Okay. Now let's design this. So this is the page and this is the window. I am decreasing the size of the window. So I want to print the main data, whatever the data float to the next page here in main window. The remaining data like logo, address. So let's design a logo. For logo, I'm going to create one window. I've created one window. So I'm going to change the window name. I'm naming it as logo. Okay. I'm naming it as logo window. This is the window properties. So in general attributes, what is the type of the window? So these are the different types of windows. Please observe. It is very important interview question. What are the different types of windows in SmartForms? Main window, secondary
Secondary.
window, copies window, and final window. So till now we discussed about main window and secondary window. So we'll discuss copies window and final window later. But please remember these types of windows: main window, secondary window, copies window, and final window. So main window, whatever the data we are printing in main window, that will automatically float to the second page. Second page, third page, fourth page, depends on the data size. Secondary window, it is a fixed width window, fixed length window. Whatever the data we are printing in secondary window, that will be fixed. It won't expand automatically. Okay. So I've created a new window, that is secondary window for logo. So I'm going to place here. So this is the page margin, page end margin. Okay. So I'm going to place my logo here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. This is secondary window. I've created a new window, that is secondary window. I've selected that window type as secondary window. You can select as main window also. Okay. You can create
Oh,
another main window also. Now, what is the purpose of this secondary window? I want to place my logo. Right click on it, right click on that secondary window and create graphic. Graphic means for logos. Okay. In secondary window, I am placing my logo. Observe here, go to general attributes. There is a name, object, and ID. Here we have to provide logo details. But from where we can provide these details? We have a separate transaction code for logos, that is SE78. Here you can find your logos. SE78 is the transaction code. First we have to upload our company logo here. Then we can use that logo in our smartphone. Okay, let's see what are the existing logos. We can use black and white or color logos. Let's see the existing logos. These are all the standard existing logos. Someone has already created some custom logos also. Uh, Click on this to display the logo. Print preview. It is just a dot. I'm use some custom logos. I'll search for some custom logos. Z star. Print preview. Mhm. So I'm just trying to search the existing logos. We can also create our own logo. Okay, there is one logo, but it is very large size logo. F4. We'll search some name with SAP. My SAP com display. So let's use this logo for now. Okay, let's use this logo. My SAP com is the logo name. This is the name, right? This is the name. Object. What is the object? Graphic. This is the one, right? Graphic. This one. B map. B map. Okay. B map is for object. ID. ID is B map. Clear? It is color, right? So we are selecting the color logo. Also, we can set the size of the. We can increase or decrease the size of the logo here. Okay. Clear?
Okay.
We can increase or decrease the size of the logo here using this resolution options. Okay. Let's see how can we upload our own logo. How can we upload our own logo? First, we'll design some logo in MS Paint. I'm going to, I'm doing this in server, okay, not in our local system. We cannot upload logos in our local system. So this is nose. Okay. So this is my company logo. Okay. Let's
Okay.
save this. I'm saving it as bitmap image dot bmp. Okay. Bitmap dot bmp. Okay. Save it. I've saved it. I saved the logo. Now let's go to SE 78, right?
This is
SE 78. Click on this SE 78. Click on this import. Select the bitmap image, bmap image. Select the bitmap images and click on import and click on F4. Click on F4. So I've saved it on desktop. Select this logo. Name the logo. I'll give my my logo description. My logo. color bitmap image. Okay, select, it's a color image, right? Select color
Yes.
bitmap image, click on continue. Hello. Now my logo got uploaded into SC78. Okay,
Okay.
go back, open SC78, go to bitmap images, click on F4, find my image. Here we may or may not use Z, starting with Z or Y, it is optional. Okay, this is the one, right? We created my logo, print preview. So this is my logo. Okay,
Okay.
so my logo is the name in the smart form. Go to the smart form and provide my logo. You can also click on F4 here. Click on F4 help here and search for the logos. Okay, so
Okay.
object is graphic, ID is bitmap. It is color bitmap image I've selected. Okay, save it. These are all just some formatting options, alignment and etc. Okay, so in conditions, we can use conditions sometimes, right? When we are printing the layouts, okay, for one customer we need to display one logo, and for different customer we may need to display different company logo. Not company, usually it won't happen, but just I am saying. Okay, for for example, uh, there are multiple customers shopping in different shopping malls for the same company in different places. If the customer from Hyderabad, then we have to display Hyderabad logo. If the customer is from Chennai, we have to display Chennai company logo. If the customer is from Bangalore, we have to display Bangalore company logo with small changes. Logo might be different for each branch. Okay, in that case we can use these conditions to dynamically display the logo, or for some customer we don't want to display the logo, so we can use those conditions here. Okay, I'll show you in the next classes, but for now just observe these general attributes. So this resolution is to increase or decrease the logo size. Okay, just save it and activate it and observe how it is displaying. So whenever you activate a smart form, it will generate a function module. So we are going to call that function module in our driver program to trigger the smart form. Okay, execute it, execute it. So this is the function module that got generated for the smart form. Okay, right? So when I execute the smart form, from where it is navigating to the function module screen, right? Function builder screen, right? So this is the smart form that is generated for function module that is generated for that smart form. Now execute this function module. So what is the options you can see here? Importing parameters. Same like function modules, right? Did you find any difference here? You have to pass the importing parameters and execute. I'm executing it. Execute. Then it will generate the print layout. It will generate the print layout. So here it is output device means printer name. What is the printer you need to use to print this? I'm using LP01. LP01 is like some local printer. We don't have any printer configuration, right? Just use LP01. Print preview, click on print preview. Now, this is my smart form layout. Since I've used only the logo is printing, the remaining data has to be printed. We have to design that, right?
Yes.
Here you can observe print preview page 1 of 1, because we have only one page, right? That's why 1 of 1 is there. If you have multiple pages, it will display multiple pages here. Okay,
Okay.
go back to the form and design again. So observe the function module name. I'm just copying this function module name. Go back to the smart form and design the remaining details. We need to print the material data, right? Also, I want to print the address. I'll also add one address window. Right click on the page, create. Here just observe. Here we have different options like page, window, graphic, address. I want to print the address, right? Click on the address. It will be interesting. Go to the address window. It is also a fixed width window, but here we have some special options. When you select the address, it is not a window, but when you select the address, here we have options to provide the address number. Each customer will have a address number. If you provide that address number, it will automatically print the address of the customer. For example, go to KNA1. What is KNA1 table? What is KNA1? KNA1 is the customer master data. Okay, customer number, customer name, etc. But where they are maintaining the customer address, they'll provide one reference address number here, ADRNR, and go to ADRC table. ADRC table is for address master data. Whoever it is, customer, vendor, supplier, whoever it is, company, whatever the data it is, all the address data is stored in ADRC table. So this address number will be, what is the reference for that address number? Address number. If you go to KNA1, you will be having a address number field. So we'll take one customer example. So if you want to know the address of any particular customer, where we need to check, in which table we need to check. So these are all the customers, right? If you want to know the exact address of a particular customer, where you need to check, in which table? First we need to find address
KLU.
number. We need to find address number of the customer, ADRNR. We need to find what is the address number of this customer. To find the address of the customer, vendor, or whoever it is, if someone asks you to find the address of anyone, first find address number, then go to ADRC. ADRC is the table for address data. Where is this field? ADRNR is after fax number. Okay. So this is the address number of this customer. Now go to ADRC, copy the address number and go to ADRC. ADRC table. So this is the address of the customer. This is the address which you need to consider. Where you can find the material text. Is it in the same table or different table? Can you find material text in Mara table? No, right?
No.
We maintain in separate table, that is MAKT. Similarly, address also maintained in a separate table, not in the same table. So what is the reference for material number? What is the link between Mara table and MAKT table? What is the common field? Matner. That is the reference. But here for address, what is the reference? Address number.
Address number.
Address number is the reference. Okay, because we don't keep all the data in the same table. All the data like their address data, their name, their transactions and everything. We don't keep everything in the same table. We split data into multiple tables like address data, text data, their transactions data, etc. Okay, that's called denormalization. Okay, we don't go. Okay, address number is the reference, right? So I'm going to provide, go back to our smart form. Here I'm going to provide that address number. It will automatically print that address here. Okay, clear? Whatever the address available in this address number, that will automatically print here when I create address. Okay,